What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast. Today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider gavv, episode 40. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
I got so shocked, like mentally shocked this weekend by someone dropping a pleasant small talk conversation with me that I would need to share it with you. And I guess we're gonna have, I guess is the topic today is going to be like bad small talk or just small talk in general or something.
I thought you were going to say real quick. I thought you were going to say that you were shocked that I small talked with you this weekend about basketball, and you were like, "What? Who is this person that's talking to me?" I thought that's
no. At some point over the past years of podcasts, you told me that all your fake sports knowledge was a lie. So I don't question that anymore.
No,
you said, "Oh, I know basketball. I know this. I'm not as dumb as you as I pretend I am." You pulled back the curtain like eyes.
I'm still pretty dumb.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's about certain.
You did just explain position numbers to me before we started, so I don't know much.
But I'm years older than you, and depending on when it's switched, you know.
That's fair.
I'm not going to judge you for that.
All right,
it's
cringy small talk. Let's go.
And so I don't even think it was meant to be cringy. It was just, so I went to, basically we're trying to get like, I'm going to call it a farmstead. We talked about this before, like garden at the house, and like I ripped down a shitload of woods to build a garden.
You want to be a trad husband? I know how it works.
I want to be a trad husband to my Suma, whoever she may be. That's Japanese for wife. Anyway.
Oh, I thought I was going to be your trad husband as well. I thought we were going to be trad husbands together. Fine.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay, good,
yeah,
good,
sure.
good.
Okay,
right.
yeah, whatever.
You're like, shut
this
up.
is horrible small
Shut
talk too. So I live in the woods basically. So deer eat all the fucking plants all the time. And it's not they eat the plants, they eat the bulbs of the plants, or they eat like the flower before the vegetable comes out of it. And for years, they've been ruining everything. And I always hit the wall and I'm like, I'm going to get deer spray. I'm going to coat everything with deer spray. None of them work. They're all bullshit. I'm going to tell you up front. There's been like 0 different brands of deer spray that work. Like there's no repellent when the fuckers are hungry. But I went to the little nursery place this weekend because I was like, I'm going to spray these things one more time. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try this 7th brand I never tried before. So I go online with a bag of dirt and a bottle of deer spray. And the lady rings it up and there's just like a quiet pause and looks at me and goes, "Do you have a deer problem?" Or like something like real basic and benign like that. And it was such a simple question to have like, well, obviously I do if I'm buying this shit, but she asked it in such a polite way that just completely threw me off. And like, I wasn't going to give her a smart ass answer because I was at her business. I'm not going to do that. But like, I couldn't even think of something funny to say as a response because it was just so like polite but obvious that I didn't know what to do and completely threw me off. Like I was shook the rest of the conversation. And like, I kind of mumbled out like, yeah, they're bad this year. Yeah, they're always up there. I don't know. But she rocked me. She rocked me with a simple question of just like questioning what I was buying because it was so obvious.
That it's always weird. The small talk with the cashiers is always weird because I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's that exact scenario where they just comment with no question on the thing that you're buying in exactly that way of just like, you're really the only answer that you can give is yes. And it's like, what did you want me to say here? Like,
do you want me to tell you about how bad they are?
I mean, like, I guess is that what they're fishing for? Like, tell me your life story. It's always odd.
And I guess because like, of it being such a weird hyper specific thing, that like it wasn't like I went to the grocery store and bought a gallon of milk and the lady was like baking brownies tonight, and I just like got shook that way.
No.
Like the bottle, it's a bright red bottle and it says deer repellent on it.
No, the equivalent.
And the question was,
milk,
are you trying to repel deer?
The equivalent with the milk would have been like, big fan of milk. And you would have been like,
no, but there isn't an equivalent. Like you can't go to the grocery store and like you would never get asked that question.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know there used to be like the dumb meme jokes of like, go to the grocery store and buy a bottle of Vaseline, some duct tape, and some trash bags, and see if the cashier gives you a funny look. Like that, there's a thought process behind that, and there's pieces to put together. But it's basically like, there's no real equivalence of like me handing you a thing that says A on it, and you going, "So A, huh?" Like I don't know. It just really threw me off.
I'm trying to think. I guess like if you were like buying a bottle of Drano or something, and if they were like, "Got a clog, I see." Like, yeah, I do. Or I guess even with that, it's like, no, I'm making meth.
I used to use when I was younger, but not that much younger. We used to make. I think they were called Drano bombs. There's some funny name for it though, where there was a certain brand of bleach or like cleaning supplies that wasn't ammonia or something. It was some really weird off brand. But if you mix that and tinfoil together in a bottle, it would explode.
Jesus.
So I definitely, with a buddy, we got a bunch of bottles and then made little balls of aluminum foil and put them in the bottles. And then dump the cleaning stuff in it and you put the cap on, you shake it up and it fizzes real bad and you throw it and it explodes.
That's some like anarchist cookbook shit that you're getting.
It was way
into.
past it too,
Yeah.
because I don't know. I might have been young, old enough, whichever direction this is supposed to go, where when the anarchist cookbook was a thing, like the first getting around the internet, I feel like it was still the legit one, where it actually had like told you like hackery / bomby things you could do.
Yeah.
And then I know over the years, like I'm sure like the FBI or something, it got modified at some point where the things that it tells you to do like could actually like legit hurt you because you're making like weird concoctions there.
Yeah, that's what I always feared about it. From the very beginning, I was always scared that it would be like lies that were intentionally trying to hurt you. Because that would be so easy to do.
That's pretty anarchist, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so easy to do. Yeah. Speaking of the cashier, Toby, do you ever, speaking of and like items that you're buying together, do you ever get up to the cashier, get all your items up on the belt, and then like look back at it and think like, what am I doing? Like, what? This person's gonna judge me so hard.
All the time, because our like my shopping trips are so weird, where like the last time I went to the farm sanctuary place I always go to, all like the best snacks were on sale. So instead of the cashier saying something to me, I basically bought like 6 cases of summer seltzer water, like 4 bags of Doritos that were on sale and some other garbage.
Yeah.
And I put them on the belt before she even started ringing them. She was like, "Hey, how are you?" And in my brain, I was like, I'm getting ahead of this ahead of time. And I was like, oh, having the best day. I was like buying all the best garbage I can. You know, I was like living the dream today.
Yeah.
And she just laughed. But if I wouldn't have said that, I feel like she would have looked and be like, what the hell is this dude eating? Like, is his entire diet just seltzer water and chips?
That's fantastic. Yeah, those are also mine that are like embarrassing. Like, you look back at the conveyor belt and you're like, oh my God, I'm buying like 4 different kinds of dip, 3 bags of chips, and an action figure. Like, this is fucked.
And it's one of those things where like, I mean, like obviously like the more socially non-awkward people can make at least fun jokes out of it. And I have to think like, of all the times I was a cashier at so many jobs, I probably at this point can't really tell you anyone that really sticks out other than like the people that like threaten my life and shit.
Yeah.
But like, it's that weird vibe that we've talked about in the past where it's a good human lesson in general, where no one really gives that much of a shit about you as much as you think they do, like strangers interacting in real life. So in your brain, you're like, this is the most embarrassing order ever. And probably like 3 people behind you, someone's going to buy garbage bags, bleach, duct tape, and lube. And they're going to completely forget about your freaking child's meal that you scanned across the belt 5 minutes prior.
Yeah.
So it's really not that big of a deal. I just thought it was funny what I was buying that day. And she was like, how's your day? So I figured I'd hit her with it.
That's good. I like the pre-approach of just like trying to diffuse the awkwardness. That's good.
That's usually my go-to move for most things, I feel like. Like, I'm very good about, I feel like if I can get ahead of the problem, it won't be as much of a problem. So the times where I know I'm doing something stupid, it's easier to just be like, I'm being dumb. How are you?
I think I've talked about her before on this show, but there's a cashier at my local Target that we call Big Bear around these parts, because my first interaction with her was I was buying a giant teddy bear for my daughter for Christmas, and the cashier is very odd, and she spoke to and hugged the bear and didn't really interact with me during the transaction. And she kept calling it Big Bear the whole time. And like, you know, so it was like kind of to the tune of like, oh, you're just a big bear, aren't you? You're very cute. And she was just like having a big conversation with this bear and then would just ignore me essentially. Like,
what if she was talking to you and she was looking at the bear to diffuse the situation?
Maybe, but like I've also then checked out with her later and she is not nice to me when I'm not surrounded by a bear. So Target does like the pickup stuff too. and she has most recently been the person who brings the things out to your car. And that's a pretty simple experience, right? Someone brings something out, hands it to you, and then that's it. That's kind of the whole experience. They scan a little code or whatever. She manages to make that weird too. Like she just like the one time she came out, she like said she asked where we were, like I wanted the stuff, and I was like, yeah, passenger seat here is fine. And then she was like complained about like the fact that she never knows where to bring it. It's just she's just so strange. Anyway, the last
She's
time
bad at the small talk. It's all just sounds like she's bad at the small talk.
she's bad at the small talk, but even like in a way that I can't even really express how bad she is at it. Like she doesn't say things when she should, and she says things that she shouldn't say, and it's like all wrapped up into this one horrible mess of a person. The other day I was in Target and they were putting her on the like kiosk thing where you give out like freebies when people walk in the door, where it's like, hey, try this thing, and then the person's supposed to like tell you about that product or whatever to try to get you to buy more past the free sample. And it's like, of all the possible jobs this woman could have at Target, this is the worst one. Like someone in this store wants this woman gone or wants every customer to suffer, because this is awful. Yeah, we like overheard later, and it's like she gives things away, but like she didn't know why she was giving them away. She couldn't tell them anything more. It was just like the craziest, weirdest experience. So yeah, it could be worse. You could be checking out with someone like that.
So the only reason I can think of those close then. So at the same grocery store by the farm, it's a really small town. So I feel like it's country vibe. So I feel like it's very country people that work there. We'll put it that way. I'll be nice. So the other lady, the last time I was there, normal shopping trip, stocked up. She was like, "Oh, how's your day going?" As people do, you should say, "Oh, good. How are you? Good. How's your day?" And she was definitely one of the ones that was like, "I'm gonna unload on this motherfucker about how bad life is right now."
Oh God, yeah.
So she's kind of slow scanning the items because she needs to tell me about how bad it is. She's like, "Oh yeah, sucked working again. I'm supposed to be here 8 hours. I'm gonna be here 12." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." And she's kind of mumbling too, where I can't really hear all the words. I'm just guessing what she's saying because she's not like talking properly. So like I'm just to the whole time, and I start kind of feel bad because I don't know like how bad what she's telling me is. I'm just kind of agreeing with her. But she was like, "Yeah, it's all falling apart. I can barely pay my bills," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's rough." And like she's just holding, again, probably the seltzer water. She always gets seltzer water, but she's like holding the bottle, and she's like, "Yeah, I just can't pay bills. I'm working extra." And like she looks at me for acknowledgement, and then looks at the bottle, and then double checks where the scanner thing is, and then scans it. And like I'm just like, please just stop. Please just get this over with. But maybe I kept her off the ledge that day.
Yeah, I think you must as well. I think I just have a very like tell me your problems face, because that happens to me constantly. And
I've heard that before too, where like I just somehow am always that person where people are like, "You know what? I'm unloading."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just completely unloading on you. Like I'm all for like corporate jobs suck and retail jobs suck. And if you want to stick it to the retail man and slack off or whatever, it's fine. Like do that, please. Like I'm on your side about this. Like I agree work sucks. But I also I don't want to hear about it necessarily. Like I just kind of want to leave too. Because not only does like your corporate your cashier job suck, like being in the store sucks too. So like, can I just leave and then you could be alone here? Like, I don't know. That maybe is one of my most like boomer tendencies of just like I want the people to be quiet and just not talk to me. Because yeah, that happens all the time. Toby, speaking of retail experiences, I want to bring this up because it's somewhat relevant. But we have a Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters. And
yeah, if you wouldn't have done that, I was going to go with, speaking of not wanting to listen to people talk, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/thecommentwriters, where we talk over all your favorite Toku shows.
Yeah, so you get a bunch of bonus content, of course, with the Patreon for just $3 a month. And you get to watch us talk over your shows, as Toby mentioned. There's a bunch of backlog of stuff you can watch on there too. It's a great time. But one of the things you also get is access to our Discord. We've got a great community over on the Discord. And one of the things that we have, Toby, is an episode questions chat. And our friend Liv posted a single word in the episode questions chat, and that word is Labubu question mark. And first of all, I want to know if you know what that even is.
I 100% do.
Oh, you
Do you
do?
know what it
Okay.
is?
I did not. I had to Google it to figure it out. And now that I know, I recognized what I Googled. So I knew of the things, but I didn't know their name. So for anyone out there who's like me, it's the like creepy little doll monsters that you see all over the place now that are apparently like the new Furby or Tickle Me Elmo or whatever. It's like the new hot
See,
craze.
so yes, but no. They are effectively Pokemon cards for people that want cute shit to hang off their bags.
Because they're blind boxes, right?
They're blind. There's regular. Well, there's two different types. Or yeah, so there's blind box. They're basically blind boxed, but you can also just get them. But on the blind boxes or on the regular boxes, some of them say like, "Hey, do you have the secret Labubu from this pack or from this set?" So it's basically like, what the hell? Celestial Guardians was like a Pokemon set. So basically, it's like, hey, there's these 3 EX cards that are holofoiled in this, whatever hell I just said thing. But like, I've seen TikToks and Instagrams of people like when you and I open cards, I kind of half-ass it because I'm really like, my mindset is I buy them to just do a stupid thing with you, and then like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna flip them, which is what I'm probably gonna do.
Yeah.
But like the amount of care that people do not show when they buy like a 20 box of blind Labubus.
Yeah, they're just ripping through them, right?
And they're ripping through. They don't care. They just want that chase Labubu, which is a secret. So you don't even know what it is. But I both think it's silly. I'm also good enough to recognize I am no better. I am just not buying Labubus. But after watching videos again today, I was tempted to DM you or where the hell I talk to you. I don't know how that works. And say, I think I'm gonna get a box of Labubus for us to open because that seems on brand for what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, it seems very on brand, and I would walk through the Labubu experience with you, but I'll tell you up front, I don't. I think I might be old. I don't get it. Like I guess from a conceptual standpoint, I get it. Like blind boxes are addicting, and gambling for children is like the hot rage these days. I get all that.
But it's adults doing it. And there's bootleg ones, and there's fucking. Someone paid $15,000 for one the other day.
Yeah, I guess I get that too. Like I get that the adults ruin the thing that the kids like. I get all that. It is the most 2025 thing that could happen. It is a corporation creating something like super crass and like only a money grab tactic that is aimed at children, which is super dark, and then adults also swoop in and make it even worse by ramping up the prices and opening 50,000 of them on the internet.
It's why we can't. It's why people can't have Pokemon cards anymore at Target.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all the adults swoop in and punch little kids in the face and get them out of the way. Say, this is my last pack.
And it's like weird and depressing. But I think the Labubus are like also like ugly. Like I don't get it. Like I feel like I get a lot of other cutesy little things like this. Like I think like Hello Kitty is cute. I understand it. But all the Labubus with their weird little Labubu faces, they don't do it for me, you know?
I want to, as someone who is the resident oldest people on the podcast, oldest person on the podcast, let alone / all the people that probably listen to us, I don't understand most things. I feel like I understand this one the most.
Really? Okay.
And I don't know why. Like usually like, when we got hit with all the skibbity toilet shit, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking out of here. I have nothing to do with this. Don't talk to me. I guess just because it's basically Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Or I guess the same dumb blind box concept of Pokemon cards. I at least understand it. I'll allow it. Because it just makes sense to me. It's just more dumb bullshit that people don't know what they're buying. And then when we get into like the flippers black market, and I hear like someone bought one of these dumb stuffed animal keychain things for $15,000, that just triggers the like the gimmick in me of like, I need to get in on this.
Yeah. The blind, like it's fun to open the blind box stuff with you and open the packs and stuff with you. But the degree to which like the toy aisle has been taken over by blind boxes is frankly depressing. I don't know. I was just talking about me buying weird things at Target. And I'm an adult who historically buys toys frequently. So I often am like checking out with toys, and like I've had the awkward experience with a cashier saying something along the lines of like, "Oh, you got a special kid in your life, I can tell," and be like, "No, it's just me. I'm gonna
I'm
play
the big
this."
kid.
But like it's crazy. There's like a whole aisle dedicated to just like different kinds of blind box, like eggs and boxes and toys and like dragons, the eggs that pop open and have 50 things in them and stuff. It's pervasive. And it is like YouTube, and like you said, like people cracking open 50 of them at a time in a YouTube video that's pushing that stuff. And it's just such a weird like non-toy for the most part.
This is my question / statement. So yeah, like the times, basically the only times I really have to shop for kids is every year I go to like not Make-A-Wish, Toys for Tots party. So I always go buy toys for kids. That's how you get into the Toys for Tots party. It's a big thing around here. There's a whole aisle of like the blind box things. Like I forget which of my friends' kids I got it for, but one of them wanted the big dragon egg that when you pull the tab, the dragon actually hatches out of the egg and it breaks away.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And I bought that for, I think it was my one friend's daughter. I was like, I got it for her. She opened it. And I said, I need you to open this now while I'm here because I need to see how legit this is. And like the dragon that cracks out of his own egg is like amazing. It was like, super cool. I would have loved that as a kid. But like when I do like the Toys for Tots shopping, it's crazy that there's so many blind box toys of like, hey, throw this thing in the water and dissolves and get this. And it bothers me that I don't actually know what I'm getting someone.
Yeah.
And I would never actually get it as a gift. And then from us talking about all this stuff, do you think everyone just makes blind box toys now because everyone is so creator coded where they're like, well, if we make our own blind box toys, people are going to make videos online of unboxing them. And it's just going to do the whole, like, perpetuate the loop.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think that's I think
like streamer / creator culture over the past decade has shaped that no one gets real toys now. They get toys that you have to like open on camera. That's a surprise. I guess is really like my thesis statement.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is. And yeah, it makes me feel bad sometimes, even like being adjacent to this world. Like we're definitely not influencers, and like we're not streamers, like, but like podcasters is like kind of there. It's like on the level of like people who are doing this. But like you look at your like kids YouTube stuff and you're like Ryan's World who opens toys and stuff online, and it's been this way now for enough years that the feedback loop has circled in itself, where now kids want to grow up to be streamers and YouTubers, and a lot of the toys that are sold in stores, like even at a young age before you get into like the blind box toys, are play like make believe toys, so you can pretend to be a YouTuber. So it'll be like, oh, here's like a microphone and like whatever else you might need. Like here's like a microphone and a keyboard, or like a microphone and a key light or something. So you look like your favorite YouTuber, which is weird and kind of dark. And then yes, I think you're right that the toy aspect, the best case scenario, or like a company maybe like trying to do it the best, is hoping that the toys they produce get opened on video, which causes more toys to get purchased. But also I think like there's some aspect of like, we're making a shitty toy that no one would ever buy by itself. So like the product can be, or sorry, the packaging can become the product in and of itself. And like,
and you get a little 50-cent 1-inch tall statue from the inside that costs 50 cents to make.
So like
it costs $10 to buy.
The ones that I've seen opened more recently are just that. It's like the packaging looks cool and it looks like it's going to be amazing, and it's like promising that you'll get like 50 different surprises, and then you open them and like 20 of the surprises are like stickers, and the rest of them are, like you said, like a 50-cent like plastic toy that's not even like, doesn't have any movable parts. And it's like the whole toy was just the opening experience, and then you're just let down with what's left behind. And yeah, those are like, they're trying to sell you on the idea of like, this is the same as you saw on YouTube, and like your favorite YouTuber opens things like this, and you could do it at home. But then it's just gone, and then you're left with like two stickers and like a piece of plastic. It's a weird thing, but like obviously, yeah, kids are seeing it on YouTube, so that's what they want when they go to the toy aisles. I miss the good old days where you know, you were buying your action figures, your Hot Wheels, whatever, and it's like you could see what you were getting in the package. You know, it's right there.
I bet you there's Hot Wheels. Speaking of them specifically, I bet you there is
Hot Wheels blind boxes.
Yeah,
There are. It sucks. Yeah.
Okay, you beat me to it because I just Googled it hey, here's Mario Kart Hot Wheels. That's fun, but those are in blind boxes.
Yeah.
I couldn't find specifically what I was going to make my joke about, but I trust you that if you're saying, hey, here's a random Hot Wheels car.
Yeah. Hot Wheels has done the blind box thing a few different ways, a few different times. So they used to do like just kind of straight up blind bags where it was like, it was literally a bag that was just like kind of the consistency of almost like of a trading card pack, but there was a Hot Wheels inside instead. Those weren't actually so bad because you could feel it and feel which car it was. So like you could kind of stand in the store and figure out which car you were getting before you brought it home.
So we're just gonna go down that path.
Yeah.
Were you one of those people?
Yeah, because I was buying this as an adult. Like I'm an adult Hot Wheels collector, and I'm standing in the toy aisle trying to figure out which Hot Wheels I'm buying. Yeah, that's me 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so it's funny you say that because Lego minifig bags
Are the same way.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I used to, one of the Lego blogs I follow was like, hey, set 13's coming out. Here's a field guide. And for the life of me, like I bought a couple minifig boxes. So it's 36 packs of minifigs, like one per pack. It used to be random. Now it's very specifically ordered, where if you buy a box, you're getting like 3 of a bunch and 2 and a bunch of others.
Okay.
And they're not like mixed up anymore. But they were like, hey, here's the field guides if you're going to go to the store. And with my own at-home bags and the paperwork or the documentation of like, oh, feel for Ursula's trident, feel for Mickey's crown, I can't do it. For whatever reason, I can't do it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And all the things always say like, it's most likely this one, but it also could be this. You have to watch out. And I tried it a bunch of times in the safety of my own home. I wasn't like rooting around the boxes at the store, and I can't, for whatever reason, like the bags are just too thick, or like Legos mostly feel the same, especially through like those thick plasticky tinfoil bags. I just can't do it.
Yeah, the Hot Wheels ones are the only ones I've really tried that on, and they were generally pretty easy because the options, I think it was like 1 of 6 or something like that. There weren't too many different kinds, and you know, like in a car, it's kind of easy. Like, oh, this one has a spoiler. This one doesn't. Like this one has a protruding engine. This one doesn't. Like you kind of feel for those pieces. But yeah, I mean it's still not gonna be 100%, but like it wasn't too bad in the Hot Wheels ones. But yeah, I've been that degenerate for sure.
Awesome, because minifigure sets are usually like 14 or 15.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
And then we all know, or I'm sure most people know, like the little minifigures with Lego sets they're very all commonly shaped. Like they'll have the same moving feet unless they have like a giant ass butt foot instead. Like Ursula didn't have feet. She had tentacles because Ursula with a big ass. So you could kind of feel for like the big ass tentacles, and that worked.
Yeah.
But other than those, I find it near impossible to do.
Yeah. The Hot Wheels like mystery models are also like a one that didn't bother me as much because you're still getting a Hot Wheels car. Like you know what you're getting going in, and you know the quality of that item. So it's like, I didn't feel as hoodwinked, right? It doesn't feel like they're trying to burn me as a consumer quite as hard because, you know, they're not trying to fool me about how many surprises are inside this giant egg or anything like that. But anyway, yeah, the toy aisle is a fun place to walk through. If you're an adult and you don't walk through the toy aisle sometimes, it's a good way to get a feel for like what's going on in culture. You know, you get to walk through and you get to see every variation on like Skibbity toilet now, like because no one knows who owns that copyright, so everyone just started making skibbity toilets all of a sudden. It's just
Yeah. The best ones are the ones that actually like come in the toilets.
yeah.
Like it's actually like an actual toilet that you pull something out of. That's a good time.
Last time I walked through, I definitely saw skibbity toilet blind boxes. So like it was just, again, it's the snake eating its own tail of just like how tightly integrated can we make this be? Just like internet meme blind boxes. Perfect. Let's go. All right, here we are. Toby, that's quite the well we've driven down.
we tapped the aqua something.
Aqua means water, I think. So I think that
yeah,
works out.
But there's a name for it. It's like the water table you drilled out. There's a special name for when you drill a well into like.
I'm Googling
aquifer?
it. Googling it. Aquifer seems correct. It's an underground layer of water-bearing material consisting of permeable or fractured rock. What is water-bearing material? What does that mean? Is that like mud? Are they saying mud?
I don't know. The one, I have a well at my house, and the one day I tried to look up how the well actually worked because I was like, what happens if the water table runs dry and actually run out of water here? And it seems near impossible for it to happen, but obviously it can happen.
It can, yeah.
But the logistics of wells and how they actually like how far down that shit goes, because my backyard is basically like 6 inches of dirt and then rocks everywhere. It really blew my mind.
Yeah, my grandparents had a well growing up, and it's a weird thing when you really start thinking about it. Really start breaking it down. Like, my water's just coming out of the ground here. And it's just like
I'm living off the land.
I'm living off the land, and it just keeps coming. Yeah, like you said, it's just like it's not it's essentially endless. Just water coming out of the ground.
Yeah. Everyone says like, oh, we're cleaning the pipes out. Don't run your house water. I'll just fucking open the spigot right up. I'll just let that water run down the drain.
That's right.
Say, fuck all you and drought watch. I'm living off the land.
Living off the land. Also, well water it hits different too. It's probably all the dirt
to hate it,
that's inside.
And I got used to
it.
Yeah, it probably is. I had. We'll stop. So people are 50-50 on Josh and I rambling. We're gonna stop ramble time now because this is like extra. I feel like, but. When I moved into my house, I had to get a water filtration system hooked up because they tested the water. And they're like, especially living in the woods, they're explaining things to me like, oh yeah, there's like a UV light that blasts the water and it goes through like 3 different filters. Because I didn't really think about it until I was an adult that owned one. But basically, like, all the animals shit and piss outside.
Hell yeah, they do.
It runs down into the dirt. And then from the dirt, it comes back into my house and I drink it. So it's crazy technology that I have to use to have potable water in this household.
I mean, when you're drinking water, in general, I don't care the source. You are drinking like dinosaur piss, right? We only have so much water, and it gets recycled over and over and over again. Like, the thing we're concerned with is how recently it was piss.
Yeah,
you don't want it to have been pissed last year necessarily. You want it to have been pissed a decade ago, but
yeah, nature filtered it out.
It definitely was pissed though. That's just how water works. I think that might be our title. It definitely was pissed though.
Speaking of piss water, let's talk about Kamen Rider Gavv.
Kamen Rider Gavv this week was episode 40. Finally hit the 40 mark. We're barreling towards the end of this show, I feel like, and this episode was mostly feeling the grief of Uncle Denty's death, I think is the headline here. And the first thing that I wrote down watching the show was like, this is kind of a crazy real representation of grief for a show aimed at like young people. Like the opening scene of this show is just these characters are just in depression, full on. Sachika's got the blanket around her, just like hanging out, staring at this Gochizo, like she doesn't know how to go on. And I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. Like this character dies and it actually affected them. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, especially because like all the deaths have mainly been on the other side.
Yeah,
where like it doesn't really matter, but quote unquote Sachika or the actress who plays Sachika or however we're in this conversation did like the best portrayal easily in a kid show, if not other shows too, of like what actual grief is of losing a family member. I feel like because like her almost the whole time was like soul crushing to see like how fucked up she was by it.
Yeah.
And they had moments of like, here's her reflecting with a selfie of him. And on the funnier side of it, at least, it's hilarious that she's acting like a family member died. But her family member is literally a monster who's related to her buddy who's an alien.
Yeah. That's a good
Like you
point.
would think she did a fantastic job, but like she's mourning a crazy suit actor monster, and you would think like her dad got shot. Like it was crazy. Like the whole presentation of this was fantastic.
I think it's very smart to frame it that way though, because like, yeah, I mean, if you break it down, like her grieving to that extent is a little weird because yeah, like you said, it's like it was a character that she obviously knew and was friendly with and had helped and stuff like that, and like had become close to, but definitely was like more of a Shoma loss than anything, right? Like he's the one who knew this character and was related to this character, but I think framing it that way where it's a big hit for her is good because then it gives each of the characters the like level ground of having lost someone important to them, right? Like Shoma and Hanto have their mom, Rakia has his brother, and now she has one as well. And everyone, because we even have that scene in this episode where she's like, I guess I hadn't really like contextualized the threat so far, and like this is awful. Like losing someone is awful. I can't imagine how you guys feel, and I think that's exactly why they made it hit her so hard.
Yeah, and like again, like to me, it's the perfect presentation of your first actual loss that affects you, where like you don't know what to do, and we make jokes other times of like Toby's a K-Walk, he's a big baby, like the stupid idiot, like happy-go-lucky thing, and late at one point, like halfway through, like Rakia's screaming at Shoma of like, why don't you act like you care? And his story or his reason was basically like, I have to push this shit down and help everybody else.
Oh yeah.
And over the years with like stuff with my family and everything else, I've recognized in my brain that that's the way I handle all these things.
Yep.
Like I know me personally that I put the blinders on for everything. Like while it's like business time,
Yep.
we'll call it, and I have to handle all my shit. And then like once I know everything's settled, I usually like go off and scream, cry, throw things outside, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's the perfect reenactment of that. Like I recognize I am that person too of like everyone else needs someone to take charge, and I'd rather let like the rest of my family or whoever, like you all be sad, you all freak out, scream. I'm just gonna stand here and like yell at me. I'm gonna be a wall, and then like once I'm by myself, that's when you have your moment of like, holy shit, what the hell just happened to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like you have that like protector instinct in you of just like, well, I have to be the one that is taking care of things. So I have to be the one that's strong here.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool thing with Shoma specifically because he so often is the like happy-go-lucky character or the character.
Aloof idiot.
Yeah, exactly. He's the aloof idiot. And for him to sort of like kind of take that facade down for a moment to say like, no, like obviously this is awful, but I'm like keeping up appearances so that it's not as awful for the people around me. Like him being strong for the others is like, it makes me want to cry. Like it's so sweet. It's cool because like we kind of talked about before, like his aloofness versus his sort of like protector instinct, and this is like fully explaining. No, he's the protector guy. Like he might come across as the aloof idiot, but he's like the mama bear protector actually.
He's known what he's been doing the whole time. He tricked us all.
No, exactly. I thought that it was a little weird. You know, in the end of the last episode, we talked about like, oh, did Glada die? Like it seems like maybe she died. And they kind of don't address her like getting away at all. Like she's in this episode and she's fine.
She's just moping around in her fucking empty castle of no family.
And I wanted at least like half a scene of like her like scampering away. And in fact, she almost dies again in this episode because Rakia like nearly takes her out. And then you're like, okay, she's like for sure dead this time. And they show her again and she's like limping down an alleyway. It was like, how is this woman getting away with this? Like, what are we doing?
So the only reason I've joked about in the past, and I said it in our Discord too. Like Saturday afternoon, East Coast USA is basically when the episode must come on for real in Japan.
Yeah.
Like Sunday morning, Sunday afternoonish, somewhere in there. I think it's like 13 hours for me.
Yep.
Uh, as always, Glada's actress was tweeting. I just happened to look at one, and it's just like 3 pictures of her on a green screen holding flowers. And I try to avoid spoilers when she types Japanese characters. I can't read them most of the time, so I'm just like, this is safe. And this time I was like, nope, no, I know what's happening this episode.
But like not right, because she still is alive. She's not dead, right?
No, she died in her brother's. But I guess we're just gonna jump around this episode.
Yeah.
She died in Lango's arm.
Did she actually die though? I'm so confused by her continuing to live through things now.
Yeah, because she said, of course you'd be the last one I would see.
Okay.
And that's why he got all fired up and was like, I'm gonna say he's like, the stomach family is still me. We still got this. But like, I think the context of seeing the flowers picture helped, but I think I would have thought she died anyway, because just specifically because of the line of like, of course you're the last face I see, or of course you're here with me at the end, or
okay.
I fast forward and find it.
I just rewatched the scene, and yeah, it does. She touches his face, says that, like you said, and then she does the like deflating thing of a person dying. She definitely does that. But then Longo does say, like, I'll rebuild the stomach family, whatever it takes, which made me think that she was still gonna make it. But maybe now that I'm watching again, that's probably not true.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess that puts us coming into the end of the series of him fighting back for the stomach family.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't know.
I mean, like, it's him, his brother, his brother's horrible wife.
Yeah, there's no one else left.
Yeah. I guess. Like, yeah.
we have Nielv, we have Jeeb, and we have Longo now of the stomach family. I guess also, like, no one is probably dead for sure because Longo's back. Speaking of, we all thought he was dead.
We all thought he was dead, but I guess they did the thing where like he got punched through the rocks and off the camera.
Yeah.
And we never saw him getting their way. And like the classic horror movie trope is, if you never see the body, they're not dead. So I guess like his is fair. When she was at first when she was talking to him, I thought she was talking to his ghost, and it was like purgatory of, oh, like, cool, you're gonna be the one that helps carry me over to the other side. But it wasn't that. It was more just like, oh shit, he's still alive and was hiding, and now she's gonna go, like, he found her to at least say bye, and for her to be like, I guess I was lonely after all.
Yeah, kind of I guess I was. Do you think that do you think he would like planned his own death, or do you think that he just like didn't die and has been in hiding?
I think didn't die and was in hiding.
Okay.
I think basically like, because I mean, all of them, all their gimmicks were, wow, our little brother's so shitty and weak, he can't do anything. So to me, it was, he got his ass kicked that day. He was like, shit, he definitely has my number. I can't come at him. I'm just gonna go hide, and just hid.
So what's your final episode prediction here then? Is Longo the final boss and we have to beat him again? Does Longo switch sides and we defeat the new, president of Granute World? How's this all shake out?
I feel like they have to, the final bad has to be the evil wife or her dad, the president, or whatever the hell he is. And I feel like maybe Longo will come around on Shoma, but if not, at least like uneasy allies to fix the stomach family, or to fix like the Anthropus thing. But like Shoma's not going to want more people to die for Anthropuses.
Yeah.
So unless we're going to pull like a Monsters Inc., oh, we don't have to use humans, we can use sugar. Like I don't know how that ends. Like this is one of the few shows where, I guess it's like most shows, like I don't think there's a redemption arc to fix the crux of what the show was, which was the stomach family trapping people and turning them to candy.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, I can feel the show like wanting to do that. The show's all about redemption, right? Like we've seen that time and time again. we just had a whole arc about redemption with the candy maker guy. But it's pretty hard to come back from the shit Longo's done. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be as on board with signing off on him being like, "Yeah, you're a good guy now. It's all okay."
Like, I just don't know what the fixed state is.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
either. I'm not sure either.
like Longo just says like, oh, and they won't kill anybody ever again, and like that just stops it because that doesn't seem like that's the answer. And obviously, the president and his daughter want the drugs flowing through where all the Granutes live, so that's not an answer. So, like, maybe Pidgey can be swung over to Shoma's side to help fix something, but like, I don't know. Like you said, I don't think there's a redemption arc for anyone on the evil side of the show, and I feel like the solution has to be no more people die and there's no more drugs.
Yeah.
And I don't see it ending any other way, other than maybe like Longo being like, "Hey Shoma, you weren't really that shitty of a kid, or that shitty of a brother," and then like I know they're still like vaguely floating. Maybe we'll find Shoma's family. So I think like I think the ending, like the happy ending, good ending, whatever, is Shoma finds whatever family of his is left, and also goes, but I also have this family, like Rakia, Hanto, Sachika, and that's like the win.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like family is both your blood and the people you surround yourself with, kind of thing.
Yeah, this really is a show that is about found family for sure. Like that is like at the core, that's this show's like thesis statement, basically. Like your family's not your blood.
Yeah, and or they are, or like it's just the real life thing of like blood is your family, but like your found family is just as important too.
Yeah.
Like genuinely in my life, most of my found family is as important, if not more, sometimes than my blood family.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that shit really makes a difference. You are who you are.
You are
like who you like.
You are who you are. Yeah. Speaking of liking what you like, putting out Lamode looks gross.
It looked fine to me. I thought that was them forcing Sachika to eat it in the beginning. I thought was funny because she was like, "I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry." And they're like, "No, but Dente wanted us to do this together. We should do this." And everyone kind of like moping their way through their desserts to have like the desserts later in a happy way. I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was cute. It was again, it was a thing that like Shoma's doing to try to like help his people through it. It's like,
Yeah,
now come
he's
on,
like,
sit down. We're gonna do this. Like,
yeah, like we were supposed to do this. And I think especially too with his buddy Broken Sachika, like she's the one that taught him if you feel like shit, eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Or like eat snacks, like it helps you. So he was like nicely doing his own thing. I think it's cool that of all of them, like Shoma made the gochizo, like the pudding cup gochizo. But I think it was cool it wasn't for him. I think it's cool that it was for Rakia because of like their bonding together and like Rakia being like, "No, like we're cool. We settled our beef. Like you're trying to help me better myself," kind of deal. And they got little secret messages we'll never know about maybe until probably the end or something along those lines. Like maybe like if anything, I could see the messages to all of them. Like the vague one from Uncle Dente being like, "I want you guys to know that you're all family. Like you're not blood, but we're all family. We're all this." And I can see that being like the secret bonding thing.
Yep.
That maybe they'll drop at the end to go along with the rest of the ending I said, where it's found family is family too kind of deal.
Yeah, I think the way that they framed it of just like, oh yeah, like we, we'll show you what our message was. Like we all got one as well, and in a way, they'll 100% show us at the end of the show. Like that's definitely what that was setting up for. If not, I'm gonna be disappointed. But
yeah, so like we joked last time of like the things that needed to be closed in Gotchard that were never closed, and I will say at least for this show, his message needs to be somewhere in the closing, or I think that's a failure. Like you said,
I think
like that seems like a clutch key piece of all this, even though it's supposed to be their own private conversation. I think it has to be shown, and I think it's going to be a message of like, no, like we're all together in this. We're all family. I'm glad Shoma found new brothers and a new sister because his were so shitty. I'm proud of all you crazy kids. Blah blah blah.
Yep. We talked about last time how Sachika and Rakia like have kind of a unique relationship that's different than hers with Choma, for example, and how much we liked that. In this episode, I realized that like she also has like a different relationship with Hanto, and I liked that we got a little bit of that because like her and Hanto, she's known Hanto longer than she's known Choma, right? Like they actually go back further than all the rest of them. And we hadn't really gotten a lot of like interaction with her and Hanto for a long time. So I like that we got that one little scene where he tries to give her like a towel, and she's like, "You're supposed to give a girl a tissue when she's crying." uh,
Yeah, and she sassed me. He's like, I'm sorry, and she's like, no, it was funny. Don't worry about it.
yeah, I thought that was cool, and like it shows how close of friends they are. I thought that was neat. We had a little moment between them, and even in her grief, Sachika is like kind of taking the piss out of him, which is good. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I also really liked Glada's like henchman that she like rolls around with in this episode. She's got like two dudes that she's using to capture the anthropresses, and they're grenoots, but like they sort of just like are very business focused. Like they pull out their little mouth and they wrap the person up, and then they chop off their tongue, and they're like, "All right, we're done. Like, I'm just here. I'm just doing whatever you tell me to do."
I thought like though when they did that part, like that was one of the best ways they've done the anthropressing, where she just like she's literally just strolling down the street.
Yeah.
And she's like poison spray and like just plain as day. It seems like the best way they could have been anthropressing the entire time. That was really good. When Glada had the fight in the end with Shoma, and I think it's when Hanto was still there before Rocky came. When Shoma was like, "Oh shit, the Gochizo jar is empty." He's like, "Where's everybody at?" And like 100 Gochizos just fly through the air to try to fly, like go in the cup, and she just murders them all. I thought that was amazing.
It was so sick. Yeah. Well, because first of all, we had talked before, like, okay, they've mentioned the cup being full or filling up the cup a couple times, and we both guessed like it's never going to be a problem again ever. But
I was stuck after that first episode of they'll never do this again. I said maybe at most once more, and they did it once more, and then like my soul was happy. But they've made it a big deal the entire time.
Yeah.
Like they've actually like stuck to the point of no, he has to refill this. We're not gonna dumb it down and pretend like, oh, we're just gonna hand wave this, which was my exact wording. They did the exact opposite, and they made it a big deal every time. This time they showed that they were too busy with everything else. He still had them floating around the world, which is a little bit cheaty, but it was still empty.
Yeah.
He still had to do something to fix it, and it didn't work.
And like they kind of needed him to not be like super powerful so that like he wasn't, I guess, killing her instantly so she could go have her moment with Longo. But like, yeah, the using that as the means of her murdering, 50 different Gochizo all at once with a slice of her scythe was like such an amazing moment. That was so cool.
All the little angel Gochizos just floating away.
Yeah. I thought the fight was really good too. Like the her in kind of full attack mode was really awesome, and we got to see the fully upgraded Rakia, which I thought was also pretty great. I thought it was a really cool looking form that he had with his little special new pudding cup that he got from Shoma.
I think it looks better than the rest of the forms he had, and the fact that he has like the maraschino cherry on top just kind of stuck to his forehead was like chef's kiss of little flares to put on the outfit.
Yeah, for sure. It's all of his forms have been so perfect in that they look like Kamen Rider, fits. They look like Kamen Rider costumes. But then you look at them closer and you're like, oh, there's a spoon, there's a cherry, like there's a pudding cup. Like you see the elements that they're putting together. And this one, like the chess piece is literally like pudding a la mode with a spoon going into it. But then like abstracted out, it looks like a sun or something like that. Looks like a shooting star or something. It's just, yeah, really great design. I like it a lot. He also has a shield in this form, which is super sick. So yeah, I think top notch there on all the forms. Hanto continues, unfortunately, to be the odd man out when it comes to fights, since he's just a human. So he had to go chase off the agents, and he didn't get to stay and fight the super cool fight.
I mean, at least for like the sake of the show, I guess in theory, like it wasn't like none of the Glada part is specifically his fight. Like the Glada part was definitely between Shoma and Rakia and her for like their own adjacent reasons. So I think even the fact that Rakia got what I'm gonna call like the kill shot on Glada, I think is way more fair than like Rakia helping Shoma and Shoma killing her.
Yeah.
For like the sake of their lives and who went through what and everything like that.
Yeah, I think that's true. And then of course, Toby, we got Shake It Off, Rakia's version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the joke. It was fine.
Yeah, I thought the song was okay. It's not my favorite song from the show, but it was fine. I liked it. It always is very hype when they drop a song over a fight. I think that's always really cool.
It's one of those things where you at least know it's a big deal. Like, you know, it's important because there's a theme song, an actual theme song going with the battle.
Yep.
Or like, I think Geats did it the most of the ones I remember, but Geats would play Trust Last a lot, like the OP for it during either main battles or like talks before huge moments or stuff like that. So that's when they brought it back of like, you know, this is big because there's a song playing right now kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is a big one. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's episode 40 for us. And we'll switch over to keep kind of talking about Kamen Rider. We'll switch over to emails. The email address is cast@kamenridersucks.com. Once again, that is cast@kamenridersucks.com. If you want to send us an email about the show and talk about gavv, what you're liking, what you're not liking, or talk about anything else, we accept all emails. And unless it's super weird, we'll read it on the show.
And even the real ones get read a lot.
That's true. Yeah, that actually isn't the bar. we read pretty much all of them, weird or not. We have an email this week coming in from our friend Shade. Shade says, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Our Heroes Getting Traumatized Again, but with a twist. With this conclusion, every single one of our heroes have actually resolved all their trauma, which is an interesting parallel with the stomachs whose family's falling apart more and more after each episode. Anyway, I found a bunch of cool stuff this week, including something a bit random, so let's get to it. First off, a couple random news stories I found. The main cast of Kamen Rider Ex-Aid recently reunited in... Can you guess what it might be, Toby? What did the cast of Ex-Aid reunite in?
A video game.
No, an insurance commercial.
At most, I would have guessed, I guess that's hospital adjacent. Ish? Medically adjacent?
Sure, yeah. Shade says they're obviously doing their characters, but without saying any specifically copyrightable names. That's crazy. We also get things like that in America now. Like you'll see like the guys from Scrubs doing a Mint Mobile commercial.
T-Mobile commercial?
Or T-Mobile.
No,
yeah, T-Mobile.
Annoying ass Ryan Reynolds does the Mint commercials.
That's true.
The Scrubs guys do the T-Mobile commercials for the 5G and sing songs because that's what they did in Scrubs. I'm pretty sure they sang together. Those two guys. Moments and palled around.
Yeah, they were friends. They're buds. It's just so funny that same thing happens with Kamen Rider characters. That's like such a hilarious concept to me for some reason. Here, I will link you the video so you can see what they look like while I'm talking.
I don't know that I would. I guess Dan looks correct.
Dan with long hair.
Like Dan, like, at least in the face, I can see him.
Yeah, he's the most recognizable.
The prick doctor kid is close, and then is the girl Poppy or
I think so,
and Grona.
I think Poppy, but it's hard to tell.
Where's M? That's the most. I definitely think it's Poppy, but where's M?
I guess not in it.
That's stupid. He's a freaking show.
They couldn't get him. Couldn't get the big guy. But clearly, just from skipping around through the video, they have Dan doing the big proclamations like he's God. So that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to sign up for LifeNet insurance right now.
Do it. You might be able to run an insurance scam here. We might be able to hit it big. Shade says, during the commercial, they're constantly saying things like, wow, I can't believe it's been 10 years already, and nothing has changed much after 10 years. They're obviously baiting us with this, and I'm kind of sadly falling for it, because it's also been 10 years for me, too.
They need some sort of henshin joke in there, I feel like.
They do, yeah. Wow, we've really transformed after 10 years.
Transform your insurance now by using LifeNet, or whatever how I just said it was called.
Shade says, next up on our random news, have you ever wondered what Suga's actor has been doing ever since the character died in the show? Well, we finally figured it out. Again, this is a weird one. Suga's actor will be the official Japanese voice of Lex Luthor in the dub of the upcoming Superman film. So there you go. Suga's going to be Lex Luthor.
That seems fitting. That's a good carryover from weird, nerdy science, evil genius kind of thing.
Yeah. Shade says, from one evil genius to another. Exactly as you said. And then Shade says, having seen his performance in Gavv, do you guys think he can nail Lex Luthor? Yes, I think 1,000%. When you really break Suga down, he is kind of a calmer Lex Luthor, right? He is this he's this guy who thinks that he's smarter than everyone else in the room, and he has zero moral compass. So whatever experiment he needs to run, he's going to do, because he doesn't really concern himself with other people. Like he's very Lex Luthor coded already.
Yeah, that's probably why they hired him. They're like, wow, you're good at this.
Probably so. Shade also says, by the way, I'm embarrassingly excited for the Superman film. Me too. The trailers for that movie have gotten me excited about a superhero movie in a way that I haven't been in a very long time. There's that trailer that's out there where they have Lois Lane interviewing Superman, and he is kind of like, he's talking through like what he did, and she's pressing him on stuff, and he's like, he gets angry and gets flustered about her questions and stuff, and it's great. I'm really, really excited about what that movie has to say about being a Superman. I think that it's going to be pretty cool. Shade goes on to say, recently Shoma and Honto's actors came on a show with Gav's suit actor to discuss and try out certain stunts from the show. And I'm trying to figure out what stunt they're even doing in the thumbnail here. Like, I can't even make it out, but apparently they get up to some shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Shade says, my VPN is not currently working, so I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but some kind internet strangers have posted some clips from the show. Shoma and Honto recreated their fight from episode 1. Honto attempted to do the signature Gavv leg spread and then falls over. And Gav's suit actor demonstrates how to actually do the signature Gavv leg spread.
Is there a signature Gavv leg spread?
I guess so. I'm going to look at the video here real quick to see if I recognize it when it's happening. As we buffer, because x.com is a mess. There we go. So, oh yeah, it's the thing where he gets real low and crouches. Like when he henshins and then he's like really, really low to the ground. That's what we're talking about here.
Sure.
You're like, I've never watched the show before in my life. I don't know.
I don't know what we're talking about right
now. Then Shade goes on and says, finally, we have the reveal for the official trailer and poster for Kamen Rider Gavv and #1 Sentai Gozyuger's summer movie. The Gozyuger movie is called Tegasword of Resurrection, and that poster is awesome looking with Tegasword kind of up on this like mountaintop, and it's very like Pompeii coded, I feel like. And the Gavv movie is called Invaders of the House of Snacks.
I did see someone post that somewhere. It looks silly, but like in the right way. Like it just sounds like a silly premise.
Was it?
I guess they're going back to the dungeon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Was it you who likened it to Candyland? Because I feel like that's spot on. Yeah.
It sure was. I said it looks like someone looked at Candyland and made it into a really nondescript kids movie where it's like, we're going off to the Candy Castle and doing spooky horror things. And
yeah, I hate giving you your props, but I think that was a pretty good one.
Thank you. I
don't really hate giving you your props. I do it a lot. Shade says, we don't know much about Gozier's movie yet. Everything in the trailer was very vague, but we did get a synopsis for gavv's movie. Basically, Shoma will be traveling to an alternate universe in the movie, so the movie won't affect the main series much this time around. By the way, you guys can probably watch the trailer. By the time we can actually watch the movie, we'll most likely forget about all the spoilers. LMAO. Yeah, that's true. Then Shade links us some information from the producer's blog for this episode. They talk about the title of the episode, The Reminiscent a la Mode. Quote, just as Shoma and the others reminisce about their memories with the late Denti, this episode clearly shows that each of them is fighting with their feelings from the people who have passed away, such as Rakia's feelings for Kamal and Glada's feelings for Longo. They revealed that writer Junko Komura had originally prepared a final message for everyone, and not just Rakia, but due to certain circumstances like time and such, it was not used in the main story. So Denti's final message for the entire gang does exist. We just don't know if they'll release it. They dang well better.
Yeah, that seems weird to do it but not show, but I'm sure they have to work it in somehow.
Yeah. It also seems weird to cut it, but not cut the, oh, he left a message for us too.
Yeah. They're losing like 5 seconds of episode. I'm sure they would have been fine with one more ad.
Shade links is a closer look at the pudding a la mode Gochizo, which is pretty cute looking. It's kind of a mix between the pudding cup and a Gochizo. It's got a little bottom part. It's got these little arms that kind of come out the side. It looks like one of those final forms where it's all crazy.
Nice.
The official name is the Puddinte Gochizo. It's a combination of Dente's name and pudding.
That sure was. If I was going to make a joke name,
Puddente.
That would definitely be Puddente.
Shade says, if you understand Japanese, you'll also notice that Puddente's way of speaking is very similar to Dente as well. And with Puddente, Rakia transforms into Kamen Rider Vram a la mode. Yes, there are 2 modes in the name.
I guess you have to. That seems legit.
Yeah, I guess.
It sounds wrong, but when you think about it, it's definitely right.
Pudding a la mode. The form is based on the silver plate of pudding a la mode, the one Rakia wanted to eat last time. And the blog mentions that while Vram has an aggressive fighting style, this new powerful form instead specializes on defense with its metallic body and fruit shield, making sure that Vram has no blind spot. During the fight, you might have heard a new song. It's a new song from the Fantastics called Shake It Off. Fun fact from...
Covered by Taylor Swift?
Covered by Taylor Swift, yep.
Cool, okay.
Fun fact from
She's
Shade
pretty
here.
famous. That song's going to blow up. Like, she's pretty popular.
It's weird that she was able to release her cover so long ago before it came out in the show. Like, she must have gotten an advanced copy.
She has insiders.
Yeah. Fun fact from Shade here, the shield that Vram was using is actually a prop from Kamen Rider Gaim. The shield originally belonged to Kamen Rider Idun, who was an Apple-themed rider. So they didn't really have to change the shield a lot, LOL. And then Shane even has some extra trivia. On Twitter, Rakia's actor talked about his new form debuting and explained the transformation pose. Before he pushed back his hair, you'll notice that Rakia put his hand up to cover his face for a split second. That was a detail he added because, quote, pulling up the plate and putting his hand to his face was done because I wanted to depict him putting on a mask to protect someone. I feel like I finally become a proper Kamen Rider.
That's pretty slick. That's a good logic reasoning behind, like, I felt this way, so this is how I did it.
Yeah, that was cool.
And again, goes to show, like, there was a video from the Geats cast where they were all ripped on Keiwa because they were like, we all have these little, like, henshin gestures. And they all mocked him for doing, like, his giant-ass 20-second dance henshin thing. And it just goes to show that they give all the actors and actresses leeway of, I'm sure they give them a general nod, but it seems like part of your becoming a Kamen Rider is, hey, you're going to get to make your henshin. You should think about this and do what you want to do, but make it look hero-y and business-like and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome that they get a little bit of a say in what it looks like. And then Shade also talks about Glada and kind of the end of Glada. Apparently her henchmen, her goons that we talked about, were the suit actors for the president's butler agents. You remember how cool we thought those guys were a few episodes ago. So it was those two guys, those two henchmen. That was them out of the suits now. And Shade links us the picture of Glada getting her flowers, as you mentioned, seeing on Twitter. And the blog congratulated her for her hard work. Apparently, on her last day, she brought them some sweet red bean soup, and she sent them a lovely message and an illustration that she made, which is adorable.
What a nice lady.
Yeah. She has a deeper love for the character of Glada than most, and it was clear from her acting that she really enjoyed playing the role. And yeah, she's like actually crying in the photos of her kind of rapping, filming.
Yeah, that's how I knew she was dead.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah, just, again, like shout out to her for like being in this role and clearly like loving it and caring about it with all her heart, and like you said, like live tweeting every episode that's on and stuff. Like that's really cool. All right. Well, I think it's going to wrap us up for the email section. Shade, thanks for all that awesome information.
I just thought about it while we're talking about Glada. Remember when she was like foot goddess for 2 weeks and they leaned into it?
Yeah.
And then they never did it again?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, all right, we see what you sickos want. We'll give it to you for an episode.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. They definitely played her up with the sex appeal for a little bit there, and then kind of reeled her back into a normal character. I guess it's hard to play someone up for sex appeal when they're like, I'm so lonely. You can't quite do both. You can't be a confident, sexy woman, but also, be on the tattered edge of your own sanity.
I guess you just have to hide that better.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Like the rest of us do.
Yeah. Tuck it deep down.
All right. Cast@commonwritersucks.com once again is the email address. We'd love to hear from you. And again, the patreon.com/thecommentwriters. If you like all this nonsense and want to hear more, that's where you can get that. We watch Toku shows every single week. You can watch along with us. And if you sign up now, you get access to everything we've ever watched. All of X-Aid, all of Black Sun, tons of movies, all of Boon Boomsher, so much stuff on there. You'll be busy for days and days and days. And with that, Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
On Twitter, you can find me at Life of Tobes. On YouTube, you can find me at Tobes Plays, where I'm currently, Josh, realizing what the secret of the mimic is. And I'm pretty sure I cracked that case. And on Retro Achievements, you can find me. It's Tobes Plays there as well.
And for me, you can find me on Blue Sky at meek.lol. You can find me offline in my house. And you can find the show on Blue Sky at commonwritersucks.com. So that is going to do it for us for this week. We'll be back next time to talk about just what trauma the characters in gavv go through next time for episode 41. We hope you join us back here next time to talk about that. But until then, have a great week, everybody. Peace.